Hey folks, MCA on the tube here. I am, well, I don't know what I'm introducing actually, I don't know what this episode's going to become, or even if these are just going to be for Gerard or for no one, but I am on my way to see a selection of horror movies all night at the PCC in London. It's about 8:15. The films start at 9 and they run through till, tomorrow morning. Past 9 tomorrow morning. We've got the Friday the 13th. We've got Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw, The Exorcist, which is a big one for me because I've never seen it in the cinema properly. We've got what else is there? There's at least one more. Halloween isn't one of them, but I kind of weirdly feel like it should be. And I'm clearly forgetting something else. But anyway, so this is if this is an episode, then I'm not really sure where it's going around. But it's October, so one might assume we might do something for Halloween. We've missed a lot of episodes recently, and I'm sorry about that. But hopefully this is either a glorious return for us or something that'll just live in my phone forever. Either way, I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, so this week we're going to talk about 2 John Carpenter Halloween movies. I'm pretty excited about it. How about you?
I'm very excited about it. I'm going to give the game away, I'm sorry. What a terrible liar. Cut to clip from The Fog.
John Carpenter's The Fog.
This is KAB Antonio Bay. Stevie Wayne here, and let me be the first to wish Antonio Bay a happy birthday. We're 100 years old today, and keep a watch out for that fog bank heading in from the east.
100 years ago, between midnight and 1, something unknown came out of the fog. Now it has returned.
Oh, Jesus.
The Fog.
Antonio Bay has a curse on it. We're all cursed. There's no water getting here, but something awful cold did.
The Fog. What you can't see won't hurt you. It will kill you. Between midnight and 1, it will find you.
So, I love The Fog, and it's my favourite John Carpenter movie, and you've never seen The Fog, correct?
I had never seen The Fog until yesterday, yes.
So, just before, I'm just going to quickly show you this, which is The Fog glow-in-the-dark, The Fog mug.
Nice.
Which I don't know, it's just about glowing, isn't it? Kind of,
yeah. So you can charge that up, and it does the whole glow in the dark thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of greenish. If I put it back here, you can probably maybe see it glow more where I'm in the shadow. No, maybe not. No. Anyway, there's a picture on Instagram of it glowing in the dark while I was watching The Fog back in the spring because I watched it on. Did I watch it on April 21st? I think I tried to watch it on April 21st, which is the day from The Fog.
Yeah. What's the bay called? It's like a Antonio Bay.
Antonio Bay.
Bay's centennial is April 21st, and I mean, do we want to give a rough plot synopsis or just assume everyone's watched it?
Yeah, go on. You do your understanding of the story from The Fog.
Okay, so we open on like a campfire ghost story. Grandpa telling the legend that surrounds this town of Antonio Bay, which from it, and I wanted to kind of ask you about this. Initially, it's not really stated, but later on, it appears to be like a kind of Monterey, Northern California area type town, is what I'm thinking.
I would say that is accurate. I
got like New England, Vermont, Maine when I first saw it, but that's probably because that is where all of if it was shot where I think it was shot, which I saw some mentions to kind of California towns in the credits at the end. That's where all of Murder, She Wrote was shot as well, so that's probably why I was getting Cabot Cove vibes.
Oh yeah, I hadn't even really thought about that, but yeah, it does have that about it.
Yeah,
fascinating.
So it opens on him telling this legend of there were some fishermen out to sea, I guess, and a fog rolled in and mysterious events happened and it essentially took them.
How on board are you at this point?
Oh, super on board.
Let's work through the story live because I want to get your reaction to it.
Okay, yeah.
Let's do that. So you've got your opening and you've got the one more story. 5 minutes to midnight. That story lasts like 90 seconds.
Okay.
It's not like, and then he's like, oh, 5 minutes have passed. It's like, that's not 5 minutes.
So it opens on that, and then we do we get Stevie Wayne right away?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by the way, her radio style I bloody loved.
Yeah.
I have a note to myself to do a Stevie Wayne KAB 1340 impression at some point during this, so if I suddenly launch into it.
I look forward to that. Hopefully it will catch me by surprise.
Okay.
When I least expected.
And we kind of go around the town and start seeing slightly odd events happening. And one of the notes that I kind of made for myself was that I really, really like the use of light in this film as a whole. Okay. But especially at the start, there's a really nice use of shadows and reflections and just kind of like light sources. Like particularly in one shot that really kind of stood out to me was in the grocery store when we see kind of like crazy shit going down there. There's a shot that's down an aisle, but we can see the refrigerator lights in the glass fronted and it was just a really pretty shot. And so I really like the way this movie looked as a whole. What on earth are you drinking?
It's iced tea, but it's this. Do you want to blow what the second movie is right now so I can explain why I'm drinking from this?
The second movie we watched is The Thing.
I dug out my J&B glass.
Oh, okay, there you go.
as a Thing reference.
It looked kind of muddy because it's iced tea and it's a frosted glass. So it looked like you were drinking some kind of like mud shake.
So I've got my mud shake for The Thing, which is Lipton peach.
Okay.
Iced tea, pesh. And I've got water in my thing mug. In my fog mug. I've completely broken my brain. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? You good? Yeah? Are we ready for the classic horror all-nighter? Yeah! Awesome. Just a few rules, so we all have fun tonight. We will be selling alcohol until 3 a.m.
Nice.
After 3 a.m, no booze. We will be selling popcorn and snacks all night. Please don't use your phones in the screen. There's like a really bright glare and it distracts everyone. If we ever have any trouble, like if somebody's bothering you, being too loud, or if it's too hot or too cold in the screen, please let one of our ushers know and we'll sort it right away. Like don't tweet about it and be like, oh, it's so cold in here, nobody's gonna see. What else? There will be 10-minute intermissions between each film, about 10 or so minutes. We stop letting people in at midnight, no hot food, no outside alcohol. Am I forgetting anything? Have fun. Have fun tonight.
Where do we go from there?
Are you weird?
Oh, yes. So Jamie Lee Curtis
is picking up,
Yes, Ray Liotta's picking up Jamie Lee Curtis. He looks kind of.
Oh,
like...
you give Atkins a break! Come on, just because he hasn't got his tash in this one, he doesn't look like Ray Liotta.
He does a little bit.
Oh, that's mean. I feel bad now. Poor old Atkins. He does look better when he has that tash because the bottom half of his face looks like a cartoon. So.
Yes. So, and then all of their windows smash, and there's kind of like weird paranormal events going on, which. They seem to kind of get over that really quickly. It's the only thing. Like all the windows.
It ends at 1. Oh, they get over it. Specifically them, you mean?
Yeah, specifically them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you're just driving along, and every piece of glass in your car explodes, and that's a regular night.
Then you go and sit in the same bed immediately and talk about what's going on.
Sit in the same bed.
Lie.
Of course.
Yeah.
I like that the first thing he does, and I've always loved this. When she gets in the car and they do the whole thing, he just goes sip, and he's got a can of Bud.
I know. She's
it's just it's the 80s. You can drink and drive. It's fine.
Like how many empties are littering the back seat?
Like I want to get in this car with this stranger who's clearly drinking, with his windows all smashed out.
And also, it's 1980, and he's driving like a truck from the 40s as well.
Yeah,
which is great looking. But speaking of like visual things that I really like in this movie, I really want one of those big on-air signs that Stevie Wayne has that only comes on when her microphone's on. Like when
Oh,
she's
does it? Okay,
yeah, like
nice.
she'll go to do one of her sexy pieces to the mic, and
And the light
then
comes on.
and then yeah, it goes chunk, and the mic comes on, and then the light comes on, and then it goes chunk and goes off again. It's great.
That's great. One birthday, when I remember, I will get you one. We'll
Excellent.
attach it to the mic for this, and then behind you, they'll just be like.
I have to
chunk on it.
hold it up the whole time, so just make it fall down. I think we then go out. We go out to the seagrass, don't we? And we've got the sailors on board.
Yeah. I'm drunk enough. Let's go back. There's no fog out there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's fog out there. Who is the homeless guy from? If you remember, the drunk homeless guy from the Back to the Future movies.
Oh yeah.
Same guy.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
okay,
the guy was
cool.
like crazy drunk driver when Marty McFly comes back in
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
I
Fun
remember.
fact, folks.
Oh yeah, it's a fun fact.
Have we skipped over? We might have missed a bit with the priest, actually. But either way, yeah.
Yes, we did miss the bit with the priest because there's the kid who's like sweeping up and then asks for his money. And...
John Carpenter.
Oh, it's John Carpenter. Okay, and then he changes the subject and buggers off, and the stone falls out of the wall, and he finds the book. But you can clearly see there's something back there, and he doesn't investigate any further.
We'll wait till the conclusion of the movie to look at that. I like
Exactly.
The priest is a bit of a drunk, right?
It is kind of fun, isn't it? Yeah. When they show up later on, he's just got a bowl of scotch or something.
Yeah, which needlessly, like for some reason, right at that ending, when he's got the scotch, it's like, well,
Yeah.
never escape the fog or whatever.
Yeah, he's all
Atkins
fatalistic.
needlessly smashes
it.
that
Yeah, yeah.
bottle of whiskey. He just throws it in like the part of the church, and it just explodes, and it's just like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, and it kind of
Atkins
smashes
do.
almost on the journal, doesn't it? The journal of what's the name of the priest?
Father Malone.
Father Malone. Yeah, his grandfather. I guess we find out later in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did miss that bit, and I think that was all that really happened there. I was kind of expecting something to happen to him at the start of the film, but obviously it didn't. Then we go out to the seagrass and
Talking of that, sorry, the bit with Father Malone. I went through last night when I was watching a little bit of it again. I've never done a couple of still frames I always wanted to do on the Blu-ray. So look at your phone and look at that still frame from the book.
Okay.
I've read about this online, but I've never actually bothered to look at it. But see if you can you make out the say the third and fourth line? No, the third, fourth, and fifth line in that page of the book, which Mark Malone skips to before he gets to the one that says about the actual ghost stuff.
Something about writing dumb shit in this fucking movie. I love it.
Someone's written the whole page up, but he says something about big tits down the bottom.
This fucking movie props. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there we go.
Something. It says on the second line. It says the word college. Something to my college. Something to work utilizing dumb shit in this fucking movie, which is and that just
discontented props person.
Yeah, basically, just had someone with like a calligraphy degree or something.
Yeah,
who thought the book.
Well, this is going to end up on video, so it'll never look or like this will be projected.
No
one
cares.
will ever see it. It's
They're never
going to
look at all these pages.
Yeah, no one's ever going to do an HD transfer of this and frame by frame it.
Yeah, the 4K remaster I watched on Monday night.
Excellent.
But anyway, yeah. So we're jumping all around. So let's just give up what we were trying to do because that's a mess. But so overall,
but summary. Okay, like 2-sentence summary of the plot. There's a legend that fog took some people in the sea 100 years ago. It's the 100th anniversary. Fog comes back. People come back. Spooky shit happens.
Okay, that'll do.
But I loved it. It was great. I think it was fantastic.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I did wonder if it was very much going to be this is a dark film.
No, not at all. No. I liked it a lot. I thought it was there was a nice pace without it feeling rushed.
Okay. It's quite short. I mean,
it is. I was surprised when it was over, to be honest.
There are bits. I mean, I don't know. There's no commentary on the thing, unfortunately. So I don't know. I don't know as much as I should about this movie, considering how much I like it. But the bit with Macon telling the ghost stories was a reshoot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because they once they edited it, it was too short.
Okay.
So certain bits got added back in, like the bit on the autopsy slab. is a reshoot.
Oh,
apparently.
okay,
and,
yeah,
and
yes.
Father Macon, but like Old Man Time at the beginning is a reshoot. I know those two bits are. I don't know beyond that actually.
Interesting.
But just because they were a bit like, oh, it's a bit short, let's add some more spooky shit.
Cool.
So
that was I quite like that scene actually with Jamie Lee Curtis and your man in the hospital where she's just kind of like facing away and the corpse picks up reanimates and picks up a scalpel. Yeah, like kind of, Abe's Odyssey creeps up to her. It was pretty fun. Nice. But yeah, I really wanted was it Mrs. Williams? Was that her name? The kind of like town organizer lady. Yes. I really wanted her station wagon. It was magnificent.
I think it's shit now. Wait till you drive
it. Excellent. But yeah, it had that kind of had a bit of a Jaws element to me. It's like, well, we're going to go on with the town celebration, whatever's happening.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's very fair actually. Which would have been very much
fairly recent at that point. Is it 77, 78, Jaws?
I think earlier. Hang on a minute, I've got my IMDb open. But yeah, it would have certainly been 75.
75.
Would have been in the consciousness of a kind of thrill ride type movie they were looking for.
Yeah,
and adding in the horror movie on top of that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So that's very apt actually. It's not something I would have thought of.
How successful was this?
Successful enough. I mean, Carpenter was made already after Halloween, and he was on his way. I mean, he does. I think Escape from New York was the same year, and then he does The Thing the next year. So he's already like leveling up very quickly. It's still an indie movie. It's still a very cheap indie movie, but
I think Thing was 82, so I think it was a couple of years later. But
I think it was 81. Okay, whatever. Maybe Escape from New York's 81. But I mean, that's the first studio movie he does is The Thing.
Oh, but, okay.
Escape from New York was 81. Sorry. But he's on a tear then. Like I always say, there's this tear of like almost infallible movies he makes, for a bunch of years. So it's still cheap. He's still kind of like in that market where they're hustling a little bit to get it all done. But he's well on his way after Halloween is a hit,
Okay, cool.
Well, not a hit, but it sleepers its way all the way through. Halloween does.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing I really liked about The Fog, that was not an intentional pun. I said the thing I really liked about The Fog.
Dong.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good callback.
The thing I really liked about The Fog was the fact that it did feel kind of compact, but it didn't feel like it lacked anything because of that. They told the story they needed to, and they got all the elements in that were required, and it felt multifaceted because we were seeing it from multiple perspectives, including the little boy's perspective.
This neat piece of wood,
which I know, right? Which I love the way it turned into Six Must Die when it started leaking seawater onto her tapes.
The way it leaks that seawater as well. It's just like there's so many little effects in this thing that I really, really dig.
I really like that too, yeah, because I like the way it was clearly because he picked it up from within the breakers, and then it clearly dried out in that way that driftwood does. You could kind of see it gone pale and salty.
Once he's gone back to the house with it, like they did the timing of that is really nicely done. That he's carrying in this piece of wood and it has started to dry from the outside in, and it's gone. I really like that. The fact that it's just attention to detail on little stupid things.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they could easily have put like a varnish on that and made it always look wet. That might have been the temptation, but they kind of there was that attention was paid to it, and I feel like that's a bit of a John Carpenter trait in my mind is that like minute attention to detail I really like.
Yeah, and Rob Bottin is on this one as well, and he's on The Thing as well, and he does like Total Recall and stuff by the end of the decade.
Oh wow! Okay.
So he's special effects and props and stuff, like he's gonna probably be on that from the like, okay, so if we're shooting at 10, we need to wet it at whatever, and then it will dry by we can do the 2 takes or whatever.
Sure.
However much we can afford to do. There's probably more attention to detail gone into getting that piece of wood as wet as it needs to be by the time they're going to shoot than in to shooting. To actually getting the angles or whatever, right? Because it's just like, get it done.
Yeah.
But no, I love that. And then that conversation with him and the mother, because you know, she's a working mother and she's up late and stuff, and Mrs. Palazzi or whatever is looking after the boy. But yeah, he comes in and there's a little conversation, and there's just this, like you say, the film just does what it needs to do, but needless in the middle of that conversation, he asks his mother if he can have a stomach pounder and a Coke.
Yes, what the fuck's a stomach pounder? I
don't know,
some
but
kind
I want
of
to
burger.
know. I don't know, but she says after lunch.
That's true,
So I think it must be some kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Can I have a stomach pounder and a Coke?
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
Sounded like
moment.
Craig Mack the way I said it.
Yeah, I'm into Jack Nicholson.
Hey, a stomach pounder and a Coke. Hey, Craig, if you're listening, you're not. I know you're not.
Hi, Craig. I've never met you, but yeah.
Have you not met Craig? Oh, I suppose you haven't. Keep doing this. I always think people from disparate ends of my life have.
Yeah, no, I've never met any of those LA people. Actually,
LA lot. Yeah, no.
Anyway. The closest I've come to that is being friends with Mr. Tobin Randall. On social media, and hi Randy, if you're listening. He's not listening.
We just had Friday the 13th, which looked amazing in a digital print. Next up is The Shining, and I think it's a younger audience than me, because a lot of them seem to not have seen Friday the 13th and were having a good old laugh at it, which was really cool. So we'll see what The Shining's like and see if they've seen that before. So go from there.
Back to the fog, though. So skipping forward a little bit, because there's a lot of build up into to when the spooky shit actually starts happening. Where is the first knock? It's when they're in bed, right?
Yeah, you get the hook, and then the guy disappears because he's just like, fuck it, it's 1 a.m, we gotta go, you know. Yeah,
exactly. 6 must die, and this is taking too long, is what I kind of look off from that scene.
Well, that was before 6 must die.
That's true. That's
true.
So
at that point,
so retrospectively, that's what
I think the idea is sort of like they get that hour on the first night, don't they? Where that's when the conspirators met.
Right.
And so you just get an hour where they're first coming out, and you know the Buck Flower and those boys see the ship sort of sail by, which is a great effect.
It is a fabulous effect. Yeah.
I bet they built like a tiny amount of what you think you see in that shot. And then so you get that 1 hour, and then it's the next day and the next night, and can I have a stomach pounder and a Coke and the celebrations, and that's when it's going to kick off.
Right. Okay.
And then 6 must die and everything.
Okay.
So it's kind of
that makes sense.
It's almost like a little tease. It doesn't quite make sense, but you get almost that witching hour on the 20 after midnight on the 21st, and then it's about the night of the 21st. You know.
So is the whole they planned for an hour on the 20th thing? Is that in the story at the start?
No. Well, the story at the start was added later, so the story at the start doesn't quite tally up to any of it. But I think there's a throwaway line that Father Malone says that it was when the conspirators met was the night before or whatever. They were planning to scupper the boat with Blake in.
Right, right.
So, and the leper colony and all that shit.
Yes.
But it's very incidental. I think it's essentially because the structure of movies needs an early on thing, and then it needs to sell into a story, and then it needs to come out of that into a denouement. So, I think that's the reason why the pirates all agreed. Well, the pirates, they're not really pirates, but they all agreed that they were going to have an hour.
Yeah.
The one day, and then they go away again until the next night.
Okay. All right. So with the fog effects, though, I was kind of curious as to how. I mean, I imagine a lot of it was dry ice or mineral smoke. But the way
a lot of fires, just a lot of fires.
A lot of fires. the one thing I kind of wondered about was when I was kind of picturing it in my mind, I was like, okay, this is going to be a spooky movie about fog. I was kind of worried that there was going to be a lot of shitty fog effects in it, but I actually quite liked the way they looked. I think the stuff that doesn't, that in a modern day context looks least good is Stevie Wayne's perspective over the bay when it's coming in.
Sort of day for night with the kind of overlays, yeah. Yeah,
I don't think it looks bad necessarily, but I think to like a modern eye, it would probably stand out a little bit because there's some clear overlays going on there. But other than that, it looked like they did a lot of practical effects in it, and it worked pretty well. The only kind of like noticeable, and I know they sped a lot of stuff up, but it wasn't like Mad Max car chase sped up obvious.
There's some reverse stuff as well, like when
there's some reverse stuff,
out the power station or whatever. It's kind of nicely done. This kind of reverse, so it looks like it's going into the thing. Going into the generator or whatever, but it's actually just. And then actually, there's some nice, like, I don't know whether they would have even tested it, but You know, when the thing's spinning and the fog starts kind of almost getting wrapped up in the
like
spin
that
of
way
it.
it looked a lot, yeah.
But I think that's just the motion of the spinny thing is catching the...
Yeah, I think so too.
So, I mean, you could weight that kind of fog if it was like from a fogger machine. So you could make it heavier and denser or whatever. So, but it's literally just getting enveloped, folded into the machine. So yeah, whether or not that was a happy accident or whether it was just by design. I would love someone to do a large coffee table book on the making of the fog, because I know
that'd be great.
very little about this movie. So I would buy that. Gus, if you're listening, he's not listening. He buys all those Marvel ones. Let me know if there's a big one for the fog, will you, Gus?
Is this Gus? Gus, I don't know how to pronounce his last name from Read 'em and Geek. Cadore?
Yes, yeah.
Cador?
I've just always said Cador, but I hope it's Cadore now.
Cadore.
It's
Okay.
Spanish heritage.
He's not listening.
Gus Cadore.
Goose. It's Goose.
Goose
Cadore.
Shit. I'm going to tag all these people we're talking about in this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just did The Shining. The laughter was more nervous through this one. So I think it's going to be interesting. Some people were falling asleep during this one, so be kind of curious to see if they stay awake through the next one. Some snoring in the quiet bits, which is quite amazing. Craziest thing to happen during that one was that some lady on my road decided to get up and I bought a banana in case I needed a snack later on, and she stood right in my bag and red rummed my banana. So I got some paper from the people at the bar and cleaned that mess up. I don't know what's up next because they haven't been putting the BBFC cards up before these ones, so it'll be interesting to see what is next because I don't know the running order. At a guess, Rosemary's Baby, but I can't remember what they said at the start of the screening, so we'll see how this one goes. Exorcist is 3 a.m. though, and that's the big one for me, so I'll definitely be here and awake through The Exorcist.
I love the way when the fog comes under the door. There's a couple of shots where the fog comes under doors that looks really cool, and it's clearly, like you said, it's very dense mineral smoke. But they've sped it up or they've got a lot of it and forced it under the door, and it just looks really cool.
Yeah, and the use of light and stuff when he gets the guy on the boat who's looking at the things at the start, they sort of, like you were saying, the use of light there almost looks like the guy is coming into and going out of the smoke.
Yes,
but it's because they light it and then his position changes, but it almost looks like he gets sucked back in and comes back out.
It does, yeah.
Back in and comes back out, and it's very nicely done. It's Dean Cundy again who shot Halloween and everything. We shot everything with Carpenter for many years and kind of ruled a lot of that kind of 80s era stuff, and went on to shoot like Jurassic Park.
Oh wow, okay. And so he was DP. Yeah. Okay.
What else did Dean Cundy shoot that was pretty big? I have to look him up. Carry on talking. I will quickly.
Yeah, no, that's fine. The other bit that when the attacks are happening later on, Stevie Wayne finally they find her at the lighthouse, and she's been for those who haven't seen it, she's been, or don't remember, maybe she's been kind of like using the radio to communicate where the fog is approaching the town, and she's told people to go up to the church because that's the last place that it isn't. And
yeah, because she can see everything, even apparently the street layout from up there, which is great.
Which I kind of assumed, it's a grid layout, and she could probably approximate. And if she looks at it every day, I logic to that away in my brain. It's her town,
Yeah. If you want to nitpick, there's a lot. Oh, Apollo 13 was the other big thing he shot.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's great looking.
And Hook, yeah, he did his Spielberg years. Oh, and the Back to the Future sequels. So, okay. Yeah, he did everything for Carpenter through to Big Trouble, I think.
Oh wow, cool.
And then he does there's the Back to the Future sequels and Hook and Jurassic Park. Anyway, sorry, nice. Dean Cundy, folks. Look at Dean Cundy films, but not latter era ones. Don't watch Flubber or Jack and Jill.
Oh no, seriously?
Or The Holiday.
No!
Deep Beat The Holiday. That's awesome.
Derp swap.
And other ones. Oh my God,
he did Jack and Jill?
He did do Jack and Jill.
Oh, that looks like a soap opera. From the clips that I've seen. Now.
Give him a break. He's,
all right.
He's 70.
Fair enough.
2, by right, so I've just worked it out. Say 72.
I suppose it's easy. The films are easy because he doesn't care.
Yeah,
as long as he gets money.
Yeah, probably didn't care. Get all these lights. Do you want to deal with anything with them, Dean?
Nah.
Just turn them all on. Just turn them all on. It's fine. You want to point them anywhere? Wherever they are is fine.
At the actors, I mean.
No, they got enough on him. No, Al Pacino doesn't need any more light at this point. It's not gonna. All it's gonna do is catch rock face.
Well, that was Rosemary Baby. I am feeling pretty tired. A lot of people slept through that one. It's interesting, really, because I'm starting to think about how most of the films so far, now we're at the halfway mark, aren't ones I would consider classics. They are ones I like, ones I respect, but not necessarily ones I love. I mean, The Exorcist is up next, which is a film I truly love. Texas Chainsaw still to come, which is one I love, and then in the middle is Nightmare on Elm Street, which is something I enjoy for its silliness, especially as the franchise went on. And if anything, I was quite sniffy and arrogant about Friday the 13th, and about 20 years ago I claimed I could make a better film than that, and I still haven't, so that's something interesting to say, I suppose. Yeah, we've gained some people, we've lost a bunch, and some are still asleep. There's still quite a lot in here. I suppose we'll see what happens as time goes on. There were some drunk people out in the concessions bit trying to get cereal for some reason. When I popped out there, that was quite interesting. I think they've probably been thrown out or asked to leave by now, but there was just a girl who was high or drunk and was just demanding that they gave her cereal. I don't know what kind, Cheerios or something, I suppose. But yeah, I think The Exorcist is up next, so I'm supercharged for that. But I am starting to feel a little bit. I was starting to yawn a little bit through Rosemary's Baby, but I'm pretty excited for The Exorcist. So hopefully this isn't a repeat of what used to happen 20 years ago when it was 3 a.m. in the morning and I'd get back from clubbing and we'd put The Exorcist on, me and Alex, usually, if you're listening, Alex, and fall asleep watching The Exorcist. Hopefully I will get all the way through it, and then 2 more to go. This is halfway mark at the halfway mark. See you after The Exorcist.
The fog.
So yeah, there's the bit where she's finally. So she's announced, like, go up to the church, and the fog has kind of enveloped the church by that point. But then we get that lovely shot of the fog coming down over the thing above the lighthouse, like the hill above the lighthouse, or the promontory, or whatever that is. And she realizes.
There you go. That's a nice word.
There you go. She realizes that she's going to have to face whatever's going on as well, and they start banging at the door and stuff, which is, it seems to go on for quite a while. But the crux of it is she ends up on the roof, to say it the same way that Rich Evans does, on the roof of the lighthouse.
Did you really say roof?
He says roof. Yeah.
Oh no, I've never noticed.
Which really kind of, as someone who's been on a couple of roofs, it kind of scared me because it was like super steep and really tiny.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a horrid place to be. So the question I have for you, as someone who's seen it many times, is we see the ladder, and there's the hand kind of comes up, and she's going to fight the one from below. But then I think I caught a glimpse of it before it attacked her. But then there's one kind of like over her left shoulder. I feel like
there's another one already up there.
Does she not get stabbed in the neck right there?
Yeah, she gets it in the shoulder, yeah.
In the shoulder, okay. Because I was like, she seems decidedly alive for someone who got stabbed in the neck at the end of the film.
And it makes her bleed like out of the neck. No, she gets a hook to the shoulder.
Okay, so
I don't know how far it really goes in, but yeah, the one behind her gets it, doesn't he?
Yes.
When she's backing up the
yeah,
thing, which just looks a dick to shoot, because that thing...
Oh, yeah.
Unless they angled it so it looks less upright than it is, like that, having to get up that thing it's
really steep, yeah,
for both your mummified pirate guys and your everyone, it just doesn't look fun. It's not big and it's very steep.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. No, but it kind of, it gave a real tense feeling because there was really nowhere to go. That they couldn't have had the comic run around the roof type
Scooby-Doo ending.
Precisely, yeah. And one of the things I really liked about that whole scene was how long it went on. I was kind of expecting
reshoots, I should think.
Probably more reshoots, yeah. I was expecting
we got to find it out. Have I run away from him?
I was expecting more instant relief than we got from that, because she's really fighting them off for quite some time, and I was kind of like, do whatever spell you need to do to make them go away, Frank, whatever his name is, the priest. Okay. And I love how much he struggles with the big gold cross. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It turns out that to appease them, they need to give back the gold for some reason.
They just want their gold.
They just want their gold.
Well, essentially, I think the idea was that Blake had all this money to set up again, it doesn't matter, but this is the story.
Yeah.
Blake wanted to set up the leper colony near Antonio Bay.
Right.
And the founders of the town,
didn't want that.
Didn't want lepers nearby because get off our lawn.
Yeah.
And Blake had the money to do it, and they decided to scupper him and take the money. So
right.
if you listen carefully, what they do is, I think they set up a fire as a fake lighthouse, and when Blake is coming around with all his leper pirate guys, they essentially run aground. They run into the rocks rather than being guided by the lighthouse to where they should be.
Spivey Point.
Spivey Point.
Yeah.
So they set up the fire out there, and they essentially crash themselves, which would be near where the boy finds the Elizabeth Dane piece of wood.
Yes.
Neat piece of wood, and they all essentially die. And then it says they go and get the gold the next day in the book.
Okay.
So, and I guess most of the gold ends up in the Sweet Cross.
Yeah, that seems to be what happened. He melted it down so that. Which kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you think that they used it to set up the town almost.
Well, they probably didn't really need it, but they just wanted it. I suppose that's the crux of it, isn't it? That it's about being more of a greedy dickhead than about needing it.
Yeah.
So, that's what it should be called. John Carpenter's Greedy Dickheads. 100-year-old greedy dickheads.
Yes, it really should. But the spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for all of this, by the way. It's a bit late in the day for that.
Priest ends up getting killed in the end in like the very last shot of the film.
Six must die.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come back for him because I suppose he kind of wanted to atone for the sins. The drunker he got, the more he was like, I'll atone for these sins.
Yeah.
So he comes back for him at the end, and I guess that's look out for the fog. So
exactly,
because I think most of the people, the people that do die are like residents. So you can imagine. I've always wondered whether it's, if you track it properly, although I don't think the film makes as much sense as I'm wondering about it, whether or not they're all descendants. Because obviously Father Malone's a descendant.
Yeah,
the old lady could be.
She could.
Because obviously she gets got.
At that point, by the way, I really thought that this was going to go extra dark and just have a scene where the kid was getting hacked to shit.
Just like an extended scene of the kid being
just like sloppy meat sounds, absolutely, yeah. Till
he's just mush. Then the pirates eat him like... Well, they're not pirates. I always call them pirates. But
they do kind of look like pirates. So.
They are, yeah, but they're just because they're on a pirate ship. Or a ship.
Yeah.
I'm sure pirates didn't call their ships pirate ships. They're lepers by rights, aren't they, I suppose?
Yes.
Whether or not they then the lepers then eat him as a stomach pounder with a Coke.
Right.
That's not funny.
He's just pounding on his stomach with a Coke bottle, like a glass Coke bottle.
We talk about Coke a lot.
You asked for it.
To get some sponsorship.
We should, yeah.
Or a lawsuit, whichever way.
One of the two.
I'm sure we're not a very good advert for
either way. Either way is fine.
Either way is fine. Yeah, but yeah. So I think that's ultimately, isn't it? That Father Malone wants or deserves to die.
Yeah.
For this, not deserves, but
no. Because
wants to atone for the sins of the town in a
believe
kind of priestly way.
In intergenerational guilt, so he had nothing to do with it essentially. But if you
Never
go down the whole,
to me, but I wonder if he does, because
he seems to.
Catholic Church. In which case, it would be very baked into the Catholicism of it.
Well, is it a Catholic Church though? Because how could
I don't think it is. But
no, it can't be because his grandfather was also a priest, and that can't happen if you're a Catholic. And well, it shouldn't happen. I'm sure it does, but.
Yeah, because
he's not supposed to.
A grandfather. Yeah.
Well,
he would have.
He would have, but that would have been the last.
His grandfather wouldn't have been a priest. Yeah. So because Catholics don't have grandfathers.
No. It's against their religion.
Yeah. It's not a position that. Let's not get into it. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what religion it's all meant to be.
I would imagine like Episcopal, but I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Because it's nothing new, just because of the architectural style, is my guess.
Well, yeah, and it's got to be something that would have settled there in the 1880s, isn't it?
Yeah, which could have easily been
whatever those settlers would have brought with them.
Yeah, it could have easily been some Protestant type.
This is why we need the big coffee table book.
It is. Get on it, Goose.
Explains all the goose. So like I said, goose.
Goose.
Goose. get on it. Like he's going to write it. Write us a goddamn coffee table book. And if they didn't make these decisions in pre-production, which they probably didn't, make it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if there was like a, when they used to do, not The Exorcist, because The Exorcist was a book beforehand, but you'd get like the shitty book of the movie.
Yes.
I wonder if there's a Fog, like paperback trash novel.
Oh, that'd be great.
I would buy and read that. Like I've got the Gremlins one around here somewhere.
Oh,
and
really?
A lot of it's from the point of view of Gizmo.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's really kind of nuts, actually, that it starts talking about Gizmo and where he's from and things. It's quite strange.
Oh, that does sound good.
So,
nice.
Anyway,
but
I'm glad you
overall,
liked it.
yes, yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed the Fog. It's kind of going to become a bit of a Halloween / Thanksgiving spooktacular regular for me. I think.
Don't spoil it for him now.
I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
I'm glad because it, like I say, it is my favorite one, and it's very clearly not the best one. But because we're going to talk about that next.
Hollow Man.
Ooh, that's Paul Verhoeven. Come on. It's not even good Paul Verhoeven. It's kind of drunk, isn't it, Paul Verhoeven?
That was the first shit film that came to my mind.
But yeah, so it remains my favorite of the Carpenters because I could just almost, like, it's a desert island film. I could just watch it endlessly.
Oh, fair enough.
Because it's just kind of full of fun while being quite a good thrill ride. But the thing is, I think, probably I'm going to say objectively, because fuck it, objectively John Carpenter's best one.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, of the ones that I've seen, I haven't seen, obviously, given the fact that I hadn't seen The Fog, I haven't seen all of
Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Christine. Like, I think I think it's because it's almost like a science experiment lockdown type film. You can only, what's the way of saying this? There's nothing that can influence him on a budget to send it wrong.
True.
And anything in the snow only makes it look better.
Yeah.
And then anything on the sets just works because you've got such a closed-in environment and you can build that tension up.
Yeah, there's let's do a car chase kind of, type things.
There's no pressure because you can't fuck with it because the story is what the story is. Because there is nowhere else to go unless it costs a lot. Because, hey, car chase would be helicopters. No one's going to give them money for that.
True. One more before we move on fully to the thing. One more thing about The Fog. My absolute favorite credit, and one that I aspire to have one day, is Electronic Realization by.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's a fabulous credit.
What was his name? Dick Wyman or something.
Something like that. Yeah,
the other guy who did all the technology for Carpenter, because Carpenter just wanted
hammer keys.
I just want to bash keys, man. And then the other guy's like, so I got this thing, and there was this. What was that on? I think it was on a Halloween documentary I watched, or something, where that guy is talking about how he had the studio, and he would be like, "I've got this great thing, and it does this," and John Carpenter would be like, "Why are you telling me that for?
I don't care."
Yeah, I don't care.
Does it go donk donk donk? Yeah, then fine.
Plug it in.
Excellent.
Just plug it in and let me play. But yeah, so yeah, the music. It's again another unsung theme, a beautiful theme that John Carpenter did for The Fog. Actually,
oh yeah, I liked it a lot.
And it was going to see him live a couple of years ago when the Fog music kicked in that brought me back to The Fog, because I hadn't watched it in years. I never owned it on DVD. I had it on VHS.
Okay,
but I hadn't watched it in years. And seeing him live and seeing the shots from it and stuff was like, I gotta get a copy of the fucking Fog.
Yeah,
because I'd forgotten how much I like that. Because there's a lot of weird things that always stuck with me about watching on VHS. Actually, before we do properly move on, right at the start, there's a real fucked up cut. It's worth looking for during the Macon bit where he's telling a story.
Okay.
And on VHS, it was just a 3-second still frame.
Weird.
So it would just hold, and it was a shot with the fire, so the fire would just go and hold. And I've now seen it a couple of times, like an original print and the 4K remaster, and I checked it on the Blu-ray last night. They do a weird zoom in on him.
Okay.
And it must just be that literally that was the end of the film, but they needed 3 extra frames to make it cut. So they do something. They find 3 frames from somewhere else and do a zoom on him before it cuts to his close-up or something. But I would love a commentary that would explain what the hell that is.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. See if John can actually remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet they just gloss right over it.
That was fucking awesome. So we just had I think 1998 print of The Exorcist with a BBFC card in front of it, signed by James Furman, who was the guy who banned it in the 70s. And I'm super buzzing again now because that was tremendous. So none of the version you've never seen, CGI bullshit, sound mix, crap. It was just the straight up version that I've always wanted to see in cinema. So that's going to power me through to the end. Not so much laughter in that. The guy in front of me was awkwardly dealing with some of the Exorcist scenes and some of the noises. It was crazy. I fucking love that. Right, I think we've got Nightmare on Elm Street next. So.
Right, let's talk about the thing, because that's the least interesting thing about The Fog.
So my history with The Thing was I hadn't seen it until we became friends, and then you were like, let's watch The Thing one time.
Really?
Yes. Okay. And then we watched The Thing, and I bloody loved it. I thought it was great.
$100,000 years ago, it found its way into our galaxy. Trapped in the frozen wasteland of Antarctica, it could not escape. Now the men of Station 4 have made a monumental discovery. An alien creature had frozen, but not to death. And man, it isn't Benny, is the warmest place to hide.
And I've probably seen it 4 or 5 times since then, 10, 12 years ago. And I've enjoyed it every single time. I really, really dig the soundtrack for this film because it's so minimalist, but it's just fantastic. And just the whole atmosphere of it. I've always liked kind of snowy type things, like on GoldenEye, the video game. I would always, I'd always want to play I'd always want to play the snow levels because they're always really cool looking, and so the idea of like a McMurdo style annex almost was where this kind of crazy shit goes down was amazing, and I love how it really doesn't. The opening of the film, when you've watched it already, you kind of understand what's going on. But the Norwegians chasing the dog through the snow with a helicopter, I was like, what the hell is happening?
Crazy Swedes.
But it was, that's such a fabulous opening. And it's like, I love they've got that dog, and they kind of even buzz the dog with a helicopter at one point, and it ducks down. And it's a great opening, really kind of exciting, but perplexing at the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's a full blown intrigue setup kind of thing, and and the dog is just really going for it as well, like really racing along the ways, like back arches and everything. And you're in this entire like void space of the snow, and I think it is a great opening. And shout out to, well, I don't actually know. Thinking about it, the soundtrack for this one is obviously it's Morricone, not Carpenter. But I swear somewhere along the line that John Carpenter did do music for it. That I think I remember reading this because there was like a theme or something they couldn't use, and so Carpenter had to do an extra piece of music for it.
All right, okay.
But I don't know where I had that from, and I don't know how to find it out again. But I swear something in there is Carpenter, not Morricone. But Morricone came back with a score that was, he'd clearly watched some John Carpenter films and gone, I get what he likes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do it in a weekend.
Minimalist kind of synth bonky. Yeah, it was great. So is there a version of the film where there isn't the flying saucer opening?
No.
Okay. All right. Because I'd actually forgotten that existed. That part existed. I in my mind it opened on the dog running through the snow, but then because I don't own either of these films, so I was able to just do a 48-hour rental on Amazon Prime to watch both of them.
How much does such a thing cost?
It was oddly the Fog was $2.99. The Thing was $3.99.
Okay.
For an HD, it's like 1080p rental. Although there was no SD option, so and I've noticed that increasingly on Amazon Prime. Some stuff they offer an SD for cheaper, or HD for a little more expensive.
I suppose it'll be the opposite way
option.
Now, won't it? Like 1080p will be the baseline, and then there'll be a 4K
option
soon
right?
Enough, I would think. Yeah,
I would think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looked great. But both films look great in
they do
1080p.
look amazing. I mean, The Thing especially, I think, because it's largely in either a space where light will bounce around very well in the snow because you have so much white, or the sets that are lit perfectly. Like both these films do not. I mean, they're both Dean Cundy and they're both well shot, but The Thing especially, just I think that'll always. You could go back to that, and they will do eventually, like in the 8K era and stuff like that, and it's never going to start falling apart because it's an amazing film. Whereas something like The Fog is a little bit like, let's shoot it on the hoof, and so it's got a bit more grain to it, and a bit more problems to it, but the folks at Universal will always take care of the Thing because it was mostly on sets or well lit anyway,
Right.
Also, last thing on The Fog. So keep going on The Fog. Did the fact that the story dispenses with the entire community after a point, and it's basically just our few leads in the church, and Stevie Wayno in the lighthouse. Like everyone who was at that ceremony, just forget about them.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love how it does that.
They kind of seem like props to begin with, anyway. I mean, because there was like there's a little blonde girl and sat next to pipe smoking man and stuff, and it seemed like they just wrestled together some townspeople and said, sit here and pretend for a bit. Anyway, so I wasn't too bothered by that. Although we did get rid of the mayor and the sheriff pretty quickly as well, who had speaking roles. So.
It's just funny that it's just like they're not relevant enough to, like, Six Must Die. The Fog could have had like up to 100,000 people very quickly.
very easily.
But don't worry about that.
They're all together walking in a candlelight parade. Absolutely, they could have had them very easily. But again, it breeds intrigue and suspicions about, well, did they have prime targets who were direct descendants of those like most involved conspirators who were. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's left to the audience.
It's not at all. It's the opposite. We don't care about those people, so we forgot them.
True. Yeah.
It's not because the film's not about them.
No.
It's just nitpicking, but I love that it's just kind of like, if you just think about it, it's just like, it doesn't make no sense. But I love it. But that's not what it's about. But yeah, sorry, The Thing.
The Thing. I really love the use of color in The Thing. Going back to continue to talk about lighting. There's the practical light from all the flares that they use.
Yeah, and the flare stuff is just iconic.
It looks great. It gives that kind of like pink cast to everything, that kind of flickery pink cast. But the other thing that I noticed on this viewing that I hadn't really noticed before is, when they're up in the cabin where Wilford Brimley, where they've stuck him with his noose.
Fucking noose. It's completely unaddressed. They go back up there and like, wait, got out. It's like, no, let's not talk about how he was going to fucking hang himself.
Seriously. And you just kind of brush by it. Yeah, they don't even talk about it.
They don't talk about it.
But it's like when he's kind of asking very calmly to be let back inside, it's right in the foreground. I'd like to come back inside now. It's like right in the foreground. It's just kind of, I don't think it's hanging, it's like swinging back and forth, but it is just sitting there.
I'm fine. Don't worry about this news.
But later on, when he's got out, when the doors open, when they go out there, and the generator gets got to, like, all the lights go out, and like there's that brief moment where you're like, oh shit, they are in the cold and dark in Antarctica, and there is no light, and that is one of those kind of, for me, a stomach sinking moments where I'm like, okay, it's just got a bit too real. But then
entirely alone.
The emergency lights come on and they're blue. And I hadn't remembered that, so that was kind of like, that's a cool effect. That's like that looks really cool. So I liked it a lot.
Well, Nightmare on Elm Street happened. This place is looking like a shit tip that a load of people stayed up all night in, and I'm starting to feel pretty tired again. So let's see how this goes. The modern horror one upstairs just kicked out, and they're doing a photo outside. So I guess I've got to finish it off and do the same now. One more film to go. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And is it the Chess Wizard? Is that the name of the computer that he
paused? I forgot about
paused the liquor
cheating
into?
bitch.
Cheating bitch.
Pauses J&B into J&B. Also, that voiced by Stevie Wayne. That machine.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, the Doctor. I can't remember any chess pieces, but yeah, checkmate.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's Stevie Wayne, Adrienne Barbeau, who was Carpenter's wife.
Oh, really?
For a little while there, so yeah.
Cool.
Cheating bitch.
Was that maybe added in post production right before the divorce?
No, I don't know. Actually, there's an idea. I wonder.
Let's start that conspiracy.
It's split up, so that's why he calls the machine a cheating bitch.
Yeah,
I love that. That's like the only entertainment they're gonna have till spring, and he pours a fucking whiskey into it.
Honestly, yeah. Though they have a pinball table and table tennis, so
that's fair. Yeah, but up in his shack, I mean.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Also, on that, like, actually, one of my favorite moments in the thing, and it's such an economic bit of storytelling, is just like, I just need to go up to my shack. I was like, why? And it's just like, when I left yesterday, I turned the lights off. You know?
Yeah.
It's just and you're just kind of like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I love that about the thing. It's so, like you said, the score, the staging, it's all very, very economic.
It is.
Apart from the lighting, I suppose. The lighting is the only thing where you just kind of like,
wow.
Like, it feels economic, but there's actually so much going on with it.
Tons of effort goes into that. Absolutely, yeah. One thing that I'd forgotten about is the how amazing some of the practical effects are in this. I kind of remember them being a bit kind of tacky, but there's the one moment where the dog goes into the pen and like all the little fibers kind of come out of his back. That's freaky. But the bit that really stood out to me this time is when the guy on the table's head falls off backwards and slowly goes down. That it like falls down and then it ends up in the upside down spider stuff. I mean, that was amazing practical effects. I absolutely loved it. I thought it looked fantastic, like better than so much CG. And I've seen a couple of clips from the remake where they did a bunch of really rushed CG apparently, and it just looks dreadful.
I think they did practical and then
the studio
CG
didn't
over
like
the top of it.
Yeah,
I can't remember the story of it all now. But I mean, some of it doesn't look bad.
Okay.
But some of it really doesn't look great.
Because I haven't actually seen the remake, so I've only seen a couple of clips and they didn't look wonderful. So
I didn't mind it at the time, and I have back to back them once or twice over the last couple of years. But it's not really good, and it doesn't really do anything particularly interesting. And you know how I feel about backstory in these kind of situations, anyway. You know.
Yeah.
So
is it a prequel technically? Then it's like a Cube Zero.
Yeah, it's the Norwegian camp. Those crazy Swedes.
Okay.
So it's kind of what happened there, and well, that's all I'll say on it.
Okay.
But it kind of doesn't. It kind of isn't what happened there either, and there's a lot of Americans on that crazy Swede camp.
Okay.
For some reason. So, but yeah, don't worry about that. Let's stick with this one.
Yes.
What were we talking about before you got into before you mentioned the remake?
Oh, they're all kind of jerks.
No, we were just saying something. Sorry, before we got into the remake just then.
Oh, about the practical effects.
Practical effects. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Rob Bottin again.
Oh, really? Okay.
Who did and would go on to do things, and at this point was 22 years old.
Oh, jeez, wow!
And
that's
almost killed himself doing this film because of the level of effects and stuff.
Holy
crap. The bit with the dogs you mentioned is the only bit done by someone else.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because he was literally in hospital.
Oh man, from like overwork or?
Yeah, exhaustion. I think he got.
Jeez.
That I have read the book on. I have read the book on the thing. So,
thanks, Gus.
Exhaustion or something like that. And thanks, Gus. Sorry, just
Goose.
Goose. Yeah, so he had exhaustion from this, and they got in the Stan Winston. Well, I think Stan Winston already had a studio at that point.
Oh, okay.
So the Stan Winston studio did the stuff with the dogs in the pen, which is where you get like the flower head and stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the rest of it is Rob Bottin going absolutely nuts as a 22-year-old, probably not sleeping and doing all sorts of amphetamines. I bet.
I would imagine so. Yeah. In the cold of British Columbia, which I think that's where this was shot.
Well, no. The outside was.
Okay. Oh, sure.
Well, it's in LA.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Fair enough.
So, John Carpenter didn't leave California unless he doesn't have to, because they got baseball and cigarettes and video games, which is all he seems to care about.
And his studio of synthesizers, which I presume exists somehow.
Well, the other guys, because he doesn't care.
He doesn't care about it. Yeah.
Just buy it all, and I'll come in and play it. What was I saying? Shit. But yeah, Robert T, 20 fucking 2.
Wow,
doing
that's
this
amazing.
level of work, you know.
That's pretty cool.
So, and then he would go on. Yeah, he's pretty much your guy on practical until CG starts coming around. So he's like all the stuff when you're not sure whether it's CG or practical in Starship Troopers. That's all him.
That's all him. Okay.
Yeah,
nice. I love
CG
the practical stuff
over.
in Starship Troopers, particularly the like the ship model work stuff and the big claws and stuff, and I love all that stuff.
All the claws and all the physical and all the body stuff. Actually, the space stuff is like Sony's old studio. What
oh,
they
really?
Call it? Like Imageworks or something. But yeah, anything where you're like, you know, the big and stuff, anything on the ground, that's all Rubber Team.
Nice. Or there's like some moments where like soldiers are getting stabbed through with a that
would be
stuff.
all him.
Oh, that stuff looks great. Okay. Cool.
And again, like, you know, all of RoboCop and all of Total Recall and all the Paul Verhoeven stuff, really.
Yeah.
It gets a bit more, you know, crazy wazy. That's all the same guy, and he's still working now. And he never did. The thing didn't kill him. Put it that way. So.
Glad to hear it.
Glad to hear it. Just changed it forever. Made him weak as a kid.
He just whispers into like a tape recorder now, and then all of his assistants do everything that he wants them to do. Single-handedly propping up the corn syrup industry.
Yeah, using so much corn syrup.
Yeah,
just to keep American farmers in work.
Exactly. Yeah. He receives a government subsidy as a result.
Fucking
Boteen Pell Grant.
Nice, I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, just coming from the downstairs screen, we'll do a survivor's photo in the next 5 minutes. If you just hang out front of the cinema, we'll do a survivor's photo. 5 minutes.
Sorry, the characters are all assholes.
Yes, they kind of are. They're kind of all. There's not really anyone who's especially endearing or likable in this, because they all have their moments, I feel. Like Wilford Brimley at first seems like a kind of old grandpa, kind of like slightly gruff, but then smashes up the control room with an axe and tries to kill everyone. And looks oddly wrong without his mustache. Like he's completely clean shaven in this. And then you've got like there's two very similar looking 70s cavemen who I've always struggled to identify between one another.
70s cavemen.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I do.
And they're just that it's clearly it's not a happy camp, but they've got their status quo, and that they can kind of live with it until this disruptor comes in, and then all of this understandable suspicion and disquiet is fomented between them, because they don't know who to trust and who not to trust.
Yeah. Well, they already don't necessarily like or trust each other anyway, and then it's,
right.
Yeah,
that just
which
makes
is,
it
I
worse.
guess, where you kind of have like a subtext kind of thing, if you want it. Which I've never really thought about the subtext of the thing, but I suppose it kind of is that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That, like, so. You know, they were all going to turn on each other eventually.
Yeah,
because they're stuck out there. But, you know, you had a change agent, like a 1,000-year-old alien.
Yes.
And, you're going to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's one line that kind of perplexed me a little bit.
Fuck you too.
Yeah, I didn't understand that
one. I fucking love that line. He just turns to him and he does his thing.
No. So right toward the end, where they're planning on blowing everything up to kill it. There's a mention of, we can't let it go back to sleep again. Like, we can't let it freeze and go back to sleep again. Like, it wants to cool down now because it wants to go to sleep again. So just to preserve itself. Is the implication of that to be that like the footage you'll see at the start with the flying saucer isn't like right 6 months before or whatever, or like a week before when the Norwegians get it, but it's meant to be like 1,000 years ago, and it's been asleep in Antarctica for a long time.
When they find the flying saucer, when they go out there, one of them says something like, you know, from that ice, the level of ice, like that's probably 10,000 years old or something.
Okay, I must have missed that.
So, no, it's fine. I've watched this film far too much. So the idea is, that opening is prehistoric.
Okay.
And it's been down there waiting, you know, not necessarily waiting, but, you know.
In hibernation,
Because it gets so far, doesn't it? Because they have that other bit where they've carved out, which is clearly where it was.
Yes.
Like, it made it from the ship, and then it's like
frozen. Right, right.
And I think, the idea of it wanting to go back to sleep there and then is it can't get out because they've trashed the helicopter or whatever. So it'll go dormant until spring when someone will come to find out what happened to the camp.
Right.
And then it will go back with them,
Sure.
And that's where Brimley's like, is it Brimley or is it? No, it is. Who's on about like, we can't let it get back to society or whatever.
Yeah. There's a great practical bit with Brimley and I forget his name now. The captain guy, where down in the caves when he just kind of like spots him and then puts his hand in his face.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Just like kind of
pulling at his. That's not Brimley. That's the guy with the nose ring by that point, isn't it? Because Brimley's gone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because there's only a few of them left by that point. Who's the guy with the nose ring? Because I never noticed he had a nose ring when he used to watch it on VHS, and you see it like high def or whatever, and he's like, for some reason that like it's the guy who was in something else. What the fuck's his name?
It's one of the cavemen, isn't it?
One of the cavemen. Wait a minute, let me quickly. I used to know all the character names. I can't remember them now.
That's by the way. This is a sidebar.
Copper, Dr. Copper.
Dr. Copper, okay.
Who's like, he's clearly like, he's bald and stuff, so you don't really know how old he is.
Yeah.
But he's a little older, but for some reason he's got that sweet, sweet nose ring.
He has, that's true,
Like, I guess he's just a fucking 70s guy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He knows where he's got a nose ring.
He probably drives a Beetle or a Thing back in San Francisco.
Drives a Thing?
What?
Goes down the street.
I'm going to start shaking in a minute. My face is going to start melting. I love that scene, actually.
Couch.
I love that. Yeah, I love that they're tied up to the couch, and like obviously the first priority is to burn the Thing. Yeah. So they're all kind of like stuck there, tied to the same couch as this.
Then it's just Gary there, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
Like, that's when he goes nuts and does the.
Yes, yeah, and then his head gets eaten and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
No, he doesn't get eaten. He survives till the end. It's the other guy, isn't it? The
other caveman.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So you mentioned something earlier on that I've heard a little bit about the whole eye glisten thing. Isn't there a theory that's like you don't have glistening eyes if you have a thing?
I think that's So again, in the lighting, they're doing what I would just call a ping, but there is a technical name for it, which is where you set up a light opposite the eye so that there is almost like a Mickey Mouse style
reflection. Yeah.
Reflection in the eyes, and there is a thing running through it where if they have that in certain scenes, and I think it's in the blood test scene.
Yes.
Where the radio operator guy, whose name I can't remember either right now, which doesn't help. Windows.
Yes.
Doesn't have it. No, it's not Windows in that scene. It's the other guy, isn't it? You're with the curly hair. He's the one that does all the melting, like his face melts. Whose name is Norwegian. What's his name? What's this guy's name? Is it Palmer?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Palmer or Clark? It might be Clark, actually.
I don't remember.
I'm just looking at the thing. I think it's Clark. But
okay.
He's the guy he's the one who has the thing in the, when they test the blood.
With the fake hands in it. Yeah, I love that. That's
such a good shot.
That is the bit that, when we very first watched it, that's the bit that was always stuck in my mind is that effect, and then the blood.
It's so clearly a fake hand.
But it is now.
Because you've seen it so many times, you don't get that it's a fake hand.
No. That's exactly what I thought, because I didn't remember it looking like that, but I was like, oh, this is the scene where it like pops out, and then I looked at it and I was like, why is he using a mannequin hand for this?
Yeah, well, it really is like anything. Wobbly mannequin hand. But that's if it is Clark, I think it's Clark.
But without CG, I still kind of wonder how they did some of that stuff. So that because like that bit where it pops out of the petri dish, like that makes sense to me. But the immediately preceding shot is the blood kind of trying to find a way to get to someone across the floor.
Oh yeah,
and I imagine probably just like a leaf blower or something. Maybe where they did that, but I love the way that looks. It's fantastic.
Or angled floor, or I should think
knows?
Whatever it is looks like it's probably in reverse, or maybe it's being blown and then it's shown in reverse, so it looks like it's rushing
maybe
to a point rather than
being blown from a point. Yeah.
But there's so much stuff like that where it's just like time and ingenuity, isn't it? You just figure it out.
Yeah, it's genius. Though I love it.
Yeah, it's just as long as it works within that rectangle.
Yeah.
Which is the beauty of filmmaking in many ways. Like, as long as it works within the rectangle, it doesn't matter what the fuck you see around it.
No, it's true.
So, which is where you get your fake mannequin hand and a guy on a hill with like an air ram or something waiting to shoot up a.
Magnificent.
But yeah, in that scene, I think if it is Clark is the only one who doesn't have a ping in his eyes. And
okay.
That's, in theory, how you know he's the thing. But then I don't think that rings true towards the end.
No, I don't think it does either.
I'm not sure it's in every scene either. And the big thing as well, do you know the shot where the dog walks into a room and you see the shadow?
Yes.
I think that's Carpenter as well, because he didn't want it to be anyone from the cast, so that you could go back and figure out who the thing was from the outline.
Mm.
So it's not a given person, like they think, how long did you spend with that dog or whatever? Like, it's not him. Because he's the one where it's just like, he turns out he was human, wasn't he? The guy who looks after the dogs.
Yes.
And it's just like, I guess that makes you a murderer then, Mac, or whatever, which is completely left unaddressed.
Yeah, it is. That's true. Well, they all die in the end anyway. Spoilers.
They all die in the end. Spoilers for the thing, folks. Sorry.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, so a bit of a sidebar. There are certain words and sometimes names that I always say in my head as a certain person said it. And Keith David's name, I always say in my head
Keith David.
As Eddie said it in They Live in 60 Seconds. Keith
is it
David.
Ed or that's Jay, isn't it?
I think it's Ed. But maybe I'm wrong. He's got a mask on, so it could be either of them.
Oh yeah, no, I think the way I say it, the way Jay says it.
Okay.
And he's not wearing a mask in that scene. That's the start of it. This is just to the audience listening, that we remade They Live in 60 Seconds for, I think, 2008. It's a long time ago now. The Empire Gone in 60 Seconds competition, where you had to make a remake a film in 60 seconds. I played Keith David in the remake of the They Live. Not one of my proudest moments. with just a sign on my chest that just said apologies to Keith David.
Yes.
Which I believe is in my copy of They Live. I think that sign is still folded up and in there. Because this is the thing I forgot, actually, because I was going to talk to him about that, because I met him a couple of years ago at a thing. And I've got my copy of The Thing is signed by him, which I completely forgot until I picked up my Blu-ray of The Thing.
Oh, cool.
And I think I took that sign to show him and then just didn't have the guts.
Oh, sad.
To be kind of like, I played you once. And I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. I promise I'm not a racist.
We'll find it. We'll put it on the Gamft channel somewhere.
Okay.
But Keith David was the way I do it. And that's Jay saying it at the start. Because he does hey, Keith David, right at the start. Because the character names, we just use the actor names.
Yeah, just use the actor names.
Jay played Rowdy Roddy Piper and Ed played any number of
and I love
They Live goons.
Yeah, and all of our credits were Rowdy Roddy whatever.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Rowdy Roddy Adams and Rowdy Roddy. And Tom played the satellite dish.
Yes, he did.
So he's behind an umbrella just going beep, beep, beep.
Oh, I love that.
I'll have to dig it out. It's here somewhere. I've got because I did.
I've actually found the file somewhere fairly recently that you sent to me. So
if you can find that, at least I can probably drop it in.
Yeah,
cut the end of this.
I'll look for it to see if I can find it again. But yeah, that's it's for some reason Keith David's name is in my head as Eddie says it.
It would make sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
If you find it, send it over, and when I smash this one together, I'll do that. No, I'll chop it so it just drops in seamlessly.
All right.
That'd be 3 John Carpenter films in one thing.
Woo!
Well, sort of. Apologies to John Carpenter.
I think we've got the name of the episode.
Apologies to John Carpenter. Yeah, nice. I love it. You did the music for that as well, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Do.
And I'm out in the cold light of day. Leicester Square is dead. They're setting up for the Small Feet premiere, which seems to be happening later on today at the one cinema here. Texas Chainsaw was amazing. It was from a completely fucked up print that was yellow to begin with and green for a bit and then yellow and orange and then sort of normal for a little bit, and then by the end of it I had no fucking idea. So it was all over the shop, but it was a beautiful piece of business to end the day on, probably reconstructed from however many goddamn prints. But now it's time to go home and puke, I think. It is either really cold or I've gone into some kind of toxic shock. But either way, I'm gonna go and have a nap. And I'm sure me and Sir will talk about more of this later on.
Sure, we both love The Thing. It's I think you're right in that it is John Carpenter's best.
I think it's
from the ones I've seen.
One of the. Sorry, speaking all over.
No,
yeah, no. Well, from what you've seen, I wouldn't. There are ones which you can enjoy more, like The Fog,
Big Trouble,
and Halloween. Big Trouble's great. I mean, like I say, there's a tear there where there's at least 5 odd in a row where there's not a faultless one. There's the PCC are doing a marathon next month that's like Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, Escape from New York, The Fog again, which would be the second time I've seen it cinematically this year, and I think the 5th time overall.
Excellent.
Or four and a half if you count last night. There's 7 films all the way through to Big Trouble. They Live, Big Trouble. It skips Christine.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's just there's a faultless run of films there. But I think The Thing is like, I think when I did that stupid Facebook top 10 films thing a while back, I think I put The Thing in there, even though I probably would say The Thing overall is my 3rd, because I really hold Halloween in a lot of esteem. But The Thing is, like I say, objectively his best one, and the one that you could say is one of the best films of all time.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would say in its genre and in its place, it will never be surpassed if you're looking for a mix of suspense, gore, and intensity, I would say. So, yeah. But it is also, again, was just a giant flop on release. So
sad.
One of the reasons I have this is because it was, I forget whose review it was, but it was described as a terrible advert for J&B.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I've got that glass somewhere. I will find it. That's another thing. Going back to The Fog for one last return to The Fog.
Yeah.
You know when Janet Leigh's walking around. Janet Leigh, by the way, is Curtis's mother.
Yes.
Curtis's mother. So the first time they worked together for Carpenter, when she's walking around the church looking for the priest. And she's like, Father Malone, and then he just comes out
the
like,
shadows.
Oh! The shadows like
that was an amazing
just, like,
moment.
Properly goes for her shoulder. It's just like there's no.
No, that actually made me jump. That made me jump.
Oh, did it? That's
yes.
Awesome. Because that's what it's there for. But there's no reason you would ever do that to another human being.
No, there really isn't. No,
it's a movie thing,
It was
that's
great.
what I love about it.
No, that made me jump. And there's one moment where. Is it when the weatherman is in which we never talked about actually? The weatherman is in. He's opened the door, because they're damn kids or just drunk assholes or something like that. And he turns around and it almost sounds like there's a psh sound, and that's when like the hand comes out of the fog or the hook comes out of the fog and gets him. That startled me ever so slightly.
Nice. That's good because that's what it's for. I mean,
the sound effects were great in this as well. In the fog, by the way, I really liked them. Some of the sound, like the sound of like the kung kung on Stevie Ray's door was pretty great. So
yeah, any of those metal or wood noises are just really lovely done. I don't know who did the sound design on it actually, but I should do. But I it's a cruelly underserved area.
It is
of my knowledge. A lot of the time, I just hand all that shit off to Luke. Hey, Luke, and he does all my sound shit. He's not listening. None of them are listening. None of these people that will be tagged in this thing will never listen to it. Hey, Phil, by the way, the one person who probably is listening to this. Or the Phils, I suppose.
Hey, the Phils, but mostly Phoenix.
Yeah, but mostly Phoenix.
Yes.
So, for your listening pleasure, Phoenix
sorry,
Phil.
Stevenson, in 3 years.
In 3 years when he gets to it, it's like, I never saw The Fog. You spoiled it. For your listening pleasure, then now I suppose we will present the audio to
They Live in 60
Seconds from over 10 years ago.
Indeed.
Do a live rendition of it. Hey, Keith David.
Keith David.
What's this? The Gawam can see. Hey, Keith David. Put these on. Not this year. Listen, you dumb son of a bitch! Dirty motherfucker! bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. It's this way. So this is the source of the signal, Keith.